to do a Saturday morning live. Um, a bit of a calling to come in today. So I just want to make sure that I have a connection and that I see people before I start. I'm just bringing it up on my phone as well so that I can connect here. Oh, there's one. Good morning, Olivia. How are you? And Melanie, good morning. Good morning, Wendy and Tracy. Good morning. I was just thinking about you, Tracy. As soon as I sat in the pink chair, I thought about you. I'm doing good, Olivia. I'm doing good. Hi, Melanie and Dion. And Laura, good morning. Tracy and Natalie, hi. Just letting the room fill up a little bit. Let everyone get in here. So if you've seen the post, it says I'm going to do some morning blessings and sending some love out into the world. There's a lot of, I've got some dear friends today that have back home who had a loss in their lives. And as Christmas season gets closer and as we're coming closer to this beautiful conjunction of the what we call the Christmas star, there's a lot of sense of, in my meditations, in my healing work right now, there's a lot of healing being sent out, a lot of love, and a lot of the sense of, it's like one thing for people to want to live in the magic of believing, oh, we're going to head into this beautiful day and everything's going to be beautiful. It's, there's so much that happens in the world and everybody's journey is different and everybody's lives are different. So when you may be going through a blessing, somebody else may be going through a fated experience that's going to take them on the journey of grief. And so understanding that during these times, it's one thing that we have all this that we tried, try and convince everybody to be positive and happy all the time, that it is impossible. But love is one thing that's not impossible. And being able to share love and to be able to have compassion and kindness for people and faith and hope and to be able to send blessings of love out into the world truly is the thing that fills my heart. That I have an opportunity in this role that I take on to be able to know that I can be a realist and be real with all of what life is, and still know that I can hold on to the faith, the hope, and to be able to be a voice that can send out those messages, those loving messages and blessings, and not to be going to the negative, but believing there's always light in the dark. And so in our darkest days, there's always light there for us as well. And so as we come up to this light, that there is always something more beautiful to wait for, or we got to start creating something more beautiful within our light or within our lives, so that maybe today you can be a light in somebody else's life. So one of the reasons why I'm here, I just want to see who else we have. Raquel, Giselle, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you guys are. It's all different locations, right? We're all over the world. And I'm so blessed to have people from all over the world that follow my work, that are signed up in the school. If you're not into my Monday morning meditation, it is 8:55 a.m. Mountain Standard Time in the Corey School of Magic. I am doing a morning meditation. Oh, you'll have to come out and watch. I know, the Christmas stuff, right? Well, Giselle, this is your blessing of today, that today your opportunity is to be able to just give somebody that you're walking past that may put a smile on their face that you can't see through a mask, but you can see in their eyes, that you may acknowledge someone out there that don't know they're being acknowledged in the world, that may feel like they have nobody today, may feel like they're all alone in the world, and your hello might change their lives. So be able to say hello. Aw. Yes, right, Teresa? Yes, exactly. It's like, there's so much of that energy right now. And, my prayers and thoughts go out to the family on the East Coast who are, whose family are out, or people are out searching for their family members who went out to do their job, just went out to make a living, just went out to be an everyday person trying to make a living, and they didn't get to come home. And their family, and, they're searching for they're searching for some closure and still holding on to hope that just maybe, just maybe. And so my thoughts and prayers go out to all those people today that may not be in the best. And yeah. And Rhonda, I had a great idea. My mom was shooting it down. I need to share my idea with the right people. Yes, you do. Exactly, Rhonda. Is, if you what you want. So sometimes what we want of other people, they're not able to give. And so your mom may not be in the place that you're in your growth and finding the light and finding the positives in life. But maybe, just watching you grow, watching you excel in your life, watching you be able to step into into your healing journey even more. It may inspire her to be able to make the changes that she needs to make. And sometimes that's really hard for people, is to be able to make those changes. They're just not there. And it's the same thing as trying to push people through their grief. We can't push people through their grief. You have to walk that journey. So it's the same thing as removing, like being able to make changes in our lives. Usually it's when we're at that lowest, that most negative place, and we go, and we just wake up one morning and go, I can't do this no more. I can't be this negative. I can't be this unhappy. I have to find something. I have to find something to like about myself. I have to find something that's good about my day. And usually if you stop and look, there's been reminders. So you're that angelic energy in your mom's life, the reminder today. You are that light. And so you may not have got the response that you wanted from her, but that's our human response. So the response you wanted from your mom today was a loving response. You wanted her to be that. You wanted her to see the same that you see. But what you did for her, Rhonda, which you have to remember, what you did for her was you put a spark in her. You left a piece of that light with her, that positivity, that sense. You did give her something to think about. She may not have responded exactly as you wanted her to respond, but you did leave her with something. So there was something that's there that we did leave. So, let me see. I want to go back up here. I seen somebody earlier. Yes, Melanie, I'm so happy you caught me on my live. And somebody else was asking, I'm just looking for something here while we're letting people join in. Debbie, I would love a wish for my mom a very happy birthday today. She would have been 86. Ah, Debbie, did I do a reading for you before? I thought I did a reading. Did I bring your mom through? Oh, thank you, Barbara. Good morning, everyone who's joining. So now that we got a nice few people in here now, I will start. I am going to start with some general cards and some sending out some. I'm going to go to the Mother Mary cards and send a blessing out today. And if you're unsure, if you don't follow astrology and those things, that's happening, and that Monday is a big day in astrology, in the universal energy. It's a big day. It is the day that the Jupiter, Saturn come fully together. So the two planets align, one right in front of the other like this, like they're right together. And so it's the brightest star in the sky. So it's the Christmas star. It is the star of Bethlehem. It is the star that came together and lit up the day that Jesus was born 2,000 years ago. It is also the same star that aligned 800 years ago, and it was during the plague, and it was in the European plague that was happening. And so And it's the same star that's aligning again right now for us. And so 800 years later, this is aligning again. And the alignment of these planets, and it's the star of Bethlehem, they call it the star that the Lord Jesus Christ arrived upon earth. And so there's that same alignment, that same energy is exuding upon us again. And so this energy on Monday is a beautiful time to do beautiful meditations and put out, as much love into the world as we can, to be the love and support for as many people as we can. There's a lot of people in the world that are hurting. And I always say, I look around and I think, I may have been in a pandemic, but I'm not living on the streets in the pandemic. I'm not living in a country where, there is no running water. There is no, like, no matter what, I still live among the blessed. And even if we are, even if we're amongst this right now and we have a roof over our head and we have food and we have water and we live in a country where we have a government that will give us any funding or any support in any way, then we are blessed. And so it's fun. And it's not saying it's the ideal life or it's the life we want or it's the best life, but in comparison, it doesn't diminish your pain story or your hurt story. Is that it's about finding the blessing. And so where are we going to be able to send more love, to fill ourselves full of so much light, so much love, so much hope, so much faith, that we can exude that now out into the world? As a healer, that's what I do, is that I fill full of love as much as I can. I spend as much time in meditation, in removing those obstacles and blocks to try upon this lifetime to create my own heaven on earth, to be able to live within peace and know that the fated is going to happen, but to be the best human that we can be. And if we can be the best human that we can be, we're all doing a much better job than we were doing the day before. And so we are blessed. And to see the blessing, what is your blessing? Find that one thing today. What is the one thing you're still blessed with? I mean, I look at my life and where I've been in this past year during the pandemic, and I could have stopped living. I could have stopped trying. I could have stopped trying to make things happen. And I didn't. I kept going. And during those times, that book, More Than Existing, came out. I released that book. The schools got up and running even bigger than before. Is it making as much money? Is it doing the things that maybe it would have done? Am I on the tour across Canada, the US that I would have been on? No. But I didn't stop trying. And that is the whole thing. You cannot stop trying. You have to keep trying. Exactly. Your kids, right? So you keep trying, you keep doing, you keep holding on to faith, and it's like there's some days it's hard to hold on to faith. And some days some people don't have what it takes, but somebody else can be the light to hold the space so that they can be there. So the blessings that we're giving today are from Mother Mary. We're sending out Mother Mary blessings. And hold on. Just my phone is lighting up here. So it's like, so through Mother Mary, through the beautiful energy, because if you look at the energy of a mother and a child, and sometimes you have to watch your children. So just like, the universal energy has had to watch us have to find our way through and not to, step in when we know we have to go through our experiences. And so through the Mother Mary energy of transformation, of knowing a strength when you don't know you have strength, when you don't know that you have anything left inside of you to fight with, is there's always something to fight with. There's something that's given to us, or something that's instilled inside of us that gives us the strength and the courage we didn't know we had. Well, Mother Mary, and sitting at the feet of the cross, and being there, knowing that she was giving birth to a child that would have to become, a healer who walked on earth, who would have to face great challenges and who would be judged, and so we all are that. We are all that child who's put up on earth that knows that we have to be challenged. We're going to have to go through struggles. We're going to have to, be sacrificed in some way or another. We're sacrificing ourselves, that we're going to have to go through suffering. And then, but how many times do we nail ourselves to our own suffering? How much more do we add to our lives by not wanting to let go, not wanting to give up, not on a person or on a relationship or on a thing or whatever. We keep staying in the same situations instead of looking for a way to move beyond that. And so it's like being willing to look at things in a different direction, a different way. Debbie, we're here in Newfoundland are very lucky to have very few cases. I, for one, am very grateful. Right? Yes, there's very few cases there. I was just saying, I would love to be able to go home for Christmas to Newfoundland, but we can't right now, and it is what it is, right? Yes, Valerie, being able to be around your grandchildren. What is our blessing? So as we think of our blessings, it lights us up. So when we think of our blessings, imagine sending that same love out into the world and send that healing out into the world amongst other people. And so being the tenderness. And so as we think of blessings and as we think of sending love out, what do you bring inward? Oh, you're both places, Carlene. I see you on YouTube. So I'm broadcasting YouTube and Facebook Live at the same time. I use a broadcasting system called Be Live, so I can be on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So sometimes I'm talking to someone that you don't see in one or the other, and that's why, because you're not seeing as many people in one or on the other. Is I'm on two. So tenderness. This is Mother Mary. And this is the tenderness. So giving birth to new ideas, giving birth to new love, it's like giving birth to the fact that everything that we give out into the world, do you give that back to yourself? So as much as you give out that kindness. So when I speak about what is your blessing, did one of you think today about yourself being a blessing? When I asked you to think of, what is your blessing of the day? What is that one thing that you can look at? Did any of you automatically include yourself in that blessing? We don't. We don't consider ourselves to be that blessing. We don't go to giving to ourselves. We don't think of sending ourselves healing and sending ourselves love. We don't do that. We sit there and we're in our hurt, we're in our pain, and we don't sit and think, bring this healing love to me. Bring this, we don't be open to accepting. And that's a lot to do with that mother energy. It's a lot to do with that, that sense of that would be selfish of me to think of myself or to think of me. Well, more than existing was truly about me having to take the journey. Let me see. More than existing was about me having to get honest and real with myself and about, the half-assed lies and the realities that we create, and that suffering and that misery and that hurt that we put ourselves through, that we now, on top of what we get from the world, is that we forget that we are a blessing. We forget that we are a child of that Christ-like, God-like, or universal creator, whatever you want to call it, but by something outside of ourselves. But something inside of ourselves is the exact same light. And I write about this, and I'm like, if you thought of yourself as one of your children, would you treat one of your children how you treat yourself? If you think about the fact of the God consciousness, if you think about that you can have such faith in something outside of yourself that you can't see, like fear, like God, like magic, like unicorns, if you could put such faith into believing in something outside of yourself, how come you can't do that for something that you can see every single day looking in the mirror at you? How come we're so mean to ourselves and so cruel to ourselves, and we put ourselves down, we judge ourselves? So even when you look in the mirror and you go, oh God, I got that wrinkle. Oh, I got to lose 5 pounds. Oh, look at my hair today. You just judged yourself and you just put yourself down. Today, this is your challenge. On top of being able to send that love out into the world, I also want you to be sending it inward today. Light up yourself with the same love. Be just as gentle and kind to yourself as you are to everyone out there. Because if you look at your children, if you look at your life, if you look at, and that's the whole thing. I mean, in writing of my sixth book now, I mean, I can't get them all out right away, but in writing my sixth book, I'm writing The Way Home to Corey. I'm writing The Way Home. Is the way is to find your way back to here, back to peace, contentment. What if you were always enough? What if you were always enough? What if you didn't have to keep trying to stack on, build? What if, so everything what if you're here to live just on purpose, that you're just meant to be here to live on purpose and everything else would fall into place? What if your sole purpose here was to discover you, was to discover that you are that you are that light, that you are that precious gem, that is beautiful and wonderful as you try to treat everyone else, that you treat you that way, that you give yourself the same respect, the same love, and you have that same sense of integrity for you so that you don't allow other people to mistreat you. You don't stay in relationships where you're being abused emotionally, physically. You don't let somebody cheating on you be okay. You don't let those things, you don't betray yourself. And when you stop betraying yourself and you start to be gentle and you start to be kind to yourself and you start to wish those beautiful blessings for you and you start to wish that light, that's when you stop lying to yourself. You stop convincing yourself things that you can stay in your uncomfortable situations so that you can stay in your misery. You stop nailing yourself to crosses is what I call it. You stop holding the thorns of that cross of the crown that you keep holding so tightly to, that you keep holding on to, and you keep saying, I'm doing good, I'm surrendering, but you're not, because you're still mistreating you. And as long as you're mistreating you, you're not allowing yourself to be the blessing that you need to be in the world, and that you are the most precious commodity that you have, even to your children, even to your family, even to the world. It's like your family needs you, or you need to be there. And it's like they may need you to be there, but they need you to be healthy. So the most beautiful things that you have is your health, is your mental well-being, it's your state of your light that is inside of you. And we're not here to just take a breath, and that's just existing. If you're just taking a breath, you are just existing in this world. But if you truly take a breath, if you truly stop, sit back, breathe through, look at your life, look around. Is this the life that is aligning to the light that I see inside of me? And if I want it to be a brighter light, if I want to live in a brighter light, if I want to live a healthier life, if I want to be a happier life, I have to be that in here. I have to detox, I have to de-junk, I have to declutter, and I have to start being creative. And I have to start creating that life. And I have to stop living as if every experience that is triggering me today is the same experiences that existed in my past, because the past is the past. And if every person who comes into your life, every female, every male, represents the person that would have hurt you from the past, and that all becomes, or you look for the exact same thing so that you've got the exact same life that you don't want, then you are constantly recreating a movie, a scenery, an existence of the past so that you can stay in that energy. When you truly start to light up, when you truly start to see yourself in that light, is that you look at everything, your words, your thoughts, everything as energy. And you start to be able to recharge on healthier energy. Even food is energy. It is light. And so how do you start to light up your life? Today, start with blessing somebody, yourself with a smile in the mirror, and then walk out and bless somebody else with a smile, a hello. It's like you don't need to see a smile through a mask. You can see a smile in the eyes. You can see a smile in your aura, in your energy. You expand outside of here. So you expand out here like 3-4 feet. And there's these little pockets and crevices inside of you, in this space of you, that holds all of this stuff, like space junk of your past experiences that hold on. And so our loved ones on the other side, and I'll say this all the time, our loved ones on the other side, they want us to live for them. They want us to live the life that they didn't get to live because we're here for that experience. Their time may have been, to now spend the rest in the other form of spirit form, in the eternity of spirit form. But you're still here with your spirit inside of this human shell. So if you're still here with your spirit inside that human shell, then you're here to live that life. And it's time to start being tender, kind, gentle. And so from now on, every time you speak of your blessings, every time you speak of what you're thankful for, you're going to think, what about me? What about me? I have to be a priority. And and I'll say this 1,000 times over, if you can put so much faith, if you can put so much belief systems based around fear, and you can be controlled by fear, you can be dictated by fear, you can be led to believe in God by fear, you can be led into any belief system to be good by fear, then imagine what you can do by faith, because you can't see fear. Fear is non-existent. Fear is in your instinctual to know that if you're in danger, you'll run. Or if you're in danger, you have to stop and think, what do I do here? But the fear of living in fear of past experiences or a made-up story that somebody else told you to control you, that's not what we're here to do. Believing that there is more to you and that you're here to be open to accepting and receiving these blessings that we're handing out today, that you give them to you first, that you make you part of this, that whenever we include ourselves, the day that I started including myself in my own prayer circles, when I would pray for other people, was the day my life started to change. When I started to sit in meditation for me first and not meditate for all my clients of the day first, my very first meditation of the morning starts with a meditation for me. Starts with a prayer, starts with me going into total silence with no thoughts, no words, and I sit with myself. I sit with this blessing. I sit with this golden treasure that God has given me to exist within, to be able to sit with my soul, my spirit in alignment with my mind, body, soul connection, and to be able to look at my life and say, you look at the things you've done. Look at what you've accomplished. Look at what you've survived. Look at the places. So I now go to the end of the stories and I look at, no matter what has happened, I'm still standing. No matter what's happened, I'm still here. So I still have another opportunity. I still have breath. I still have light. I still have the light of God inside of me. And to be able to live from that place, go there first. And then I meditate for my clients of the day. Because without my clients, I wouldn't be who I am. Without my friends, without my family, they are all an extension of me. But I am me. And that's what you have to remember. You are you. And you are equally as worthy as anyone else upon this earth to be living a beautiful life inside of here first. You create the beauty. You create the love. You create the existence that you live in. You. And when you start from there, you're going to be very aware that the fated moments are going to happen. We are going to lose people and we're going to leave this earth. And we don't know when we're going to leave this earth. But if you live in fear of sitting at home waiting to die or waiting for your world to be over because somebody gave you some information that said, you're going to be sick and so you're going to have to live with that. And do you just sit on the couch and wait to die? Or because somebody told you you are not worthy and somebody told you you're a piece of shit, you're going to sit home and believe that you're a piece of shit and you're not going to move forward? Really? We are so much more than that. So much more than that. I have a lot of doubters. I have a lot of people that judged me. I have a lot of people that have done that to me. I have a lot of people who've tried to take me down. That's not my concern. That's not my problem. That's their problem. That's something inside of those people in their energy. That's their fear story. My story is a story of faith. That's what I want you to have. That's why I show up here. That's why I do what I do. That's why I offer out these blessings and this healing information and these channeled messages. I don't have to share these channeled messages. I could keep it all for myself. It is so that I can help you be able to more than exist. For you to do the healing work that you do, for you to be able to sit into your light, but also that the beautiful people that come in here also inspire each other. There's so many friendships that have developed from in here, from all over the world. And also a lot of my women who are in the More Than Existing program have become mentors, healers in this world, and are also always around here. And the More Than Existing journey is something that changed my life because I made a choice. I made a choice. I started investing into me, and that's what you have to do. And so from that transformation, when I think back to being Mother Mary at the feet of Jesus, it's like you're always going to be at the foot of somebody's suffering, including your own, at the feet of your own suffering, on your knees, looking up at your suffering. If you look all the way up and you look into the eyes of the God consciousness, if you look into the eyes of you, you will see that spark of the soul essence that is still there, still standing because you're still here. You still have an opportunity. Live from that place. Live from that place. Gail, I look in the morning every morning and say, I am healthy and strong and pretty, and I smile and go about my day. Exactly, Gail. Right? And you have to see yourself healthy. It might not be, today may not be your healthy day, but if you start to see yourself healthy, you're starting to create a new reality. You are taking an action step and a movement into a new reality. And when people say, well, you say More Than Existing is a movement. It is. More Than Existing is a movement. It is a movement. It is an action. It is a loving action towards creating a new future. It's a loving action to saying, you know what, today we may not be there, but imagine what we could be tomorrow if we put the work in today. Imagine where we can be if we stop telling ourselves, lies, if we get honest with ourselves, if we take ownership and responsibility for our lives. Nobody's coming in to save you. You have to save you. And the material world is not here to provide all of your comforts. You are. And you are that savior. You are that light. And for you to be that for yourself. Be that for yourself. And so the other message that I have, I'm trying to get all this out before my migraine of the day hits, because I have this severe migraine starting. I can feel it, and I know it's because of the energy shift. See, I know these things now. I know what's happening. There's a big breakthrough coming in my channeled messages. I'm writing some big stuff, and so my head is like exploding. And so I know where this is coming from. So the other cards that we have is boundaries. So in self-love, in looking at you and find that love, you discover that it's okay to have healthy boundaries. Being able to say no. Being able to say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like that. That's not for me. Being able to use the power, the conviction that you have behind your desire to now use your own free will, that you have your own free will choice to make your own decisions, to stand in your own light, to be your own voice, to be a voice within, to be able to speak to yourself. And I always say, I speak to me every day. And I say, now, Corey, listen, was that really wise? Did you really want to do that? And so a few months ago, I made a choice, and I just said, you know what, Corey? You spent 3 years working on this, going through surgery. You spent 3 years getting in a healthy body so that you could stand up because your legs are so bad. If you put weight on, you can't stand up. Your next option may be a wheelchair. Do you want to live in a wheelchair? No. So this is how I speak to myself. No. So what do you need to do? Because sitting here being concerned about the finances or being concerned about everything else is not helping. So I felt those things starting to creep into my head. And when I looked in the mirror, I could see them. And I'm like, I didn't go to the fact that I was gaining weight and look at it and start beating myself up. I went to this fact that I said, you are in your head. You are back in your head. You're allowing these thoughts to get in somewhere. Where are they coming in? What is a fear story that's a virus to your heart now? And what virus is sitting into your body that's allowing you to lose everything that you worked so hard for? What do you got to do? Detox. Come off sugar. Come off carbs. I'm not saying that's for everybody. I'm just saying that's things that I had to sit down with myself and get honest with myself again. You're too busy. You are not making enough time for you. So I started to make a list of the places where I started to lose myself again. I was saying yes to too many clients because I'm teaching 4 nights a week. And I want to be there for everybody. So I was trying to squeeze everything in a run of a week. No. So I had to go back, slot myself in there, put myself in my own time slot, make time for me, sit down myself to eat, make sure I ate breakfast, to make sure I did those things, and to give up some of the things. So, and I kept hearing over and over, you have to do a fast. You have to do the 28-day fast. And I know that's like for anyone who's into Christianity and biblical, is that they know that there's this 28-day fast that they speak of that truly takes you into that light. Well, for me, in light work, to be a light worker healer is truly allowing your body to live as healthy as it can. And so to do that, I had to do a cleanse. I had to cleanse my body again. What was I putting in my body, including my words, including my thoughts, that was not aligning to who I need to be? So I had to go back and do it again. So I started, and so I had to put little boundaries around myself in some of the places, and I had to catch myself. I was back eating chips. So Wine and Chips, the book that I have written, Wine and Chips, that is in editing, is that book is about association and disassociation. And so when we are truly in a place of a state of being away from ourselves, not connected to ourselves, we disassociate. So we don't we associate emotions and feelings to the past, and then we try to heal them through food or through avoidance or through other people, and we don't want to put focus upon ourselves. We don't want to have to face ourselves. What is it that you're not facing? What is it that I was not facing? What did I not want to look at? What did I not want to see? And so then I had to create create the work around that, and to look at it that way instead of getting into judgment. What was out of alignment? What is not working? And it does it. So it goes into self-discipline. It goes back into, so going into your forward thinking brain, and it's not really that's in the front of your brain. I put it to the front. Going into forward thinking brain, being able to move forward is discipline, self-discipline, self-love, self-respect, like those things that you do. But it's also about determination, desire, being able to truly start to look at it in a healthier way. In your aura, it's like we move beyond the emotional stories. And so our emotions means that if we're feeling if we're feeling sad, or we're feeling like, we're frustrated that no one's listening to me, no one's doing no things, well, that's your soul self saying, what about me? What about me? What am I not doing for me? What am I not doing for me? Get to the what am I not doing for me? Get honest with yourself. Chips, no salt, yes. Yeah, salt. And sometimes we need a little bit of salt to ground us, but we don't need chips, and we don't need, it's like, make your own chips. Make your own chips. So you can make healthy food, and you can make healthy choices, and that includes being healthy choices means choosing you. Truth, right? So that's your other blessing of the day. When you feel like you're getting away from yourself, what do I need to do to come back to me? What do I need to do to get back into me? Oh my freaking God. Okay, so boundary card just came out again, guys. Boundaries again. So I need to go to the other side of boundaries. Now they're telling me I just talked about the boundaries for self. I mean the boundaries in life around people. Getting caught in this outside negativity and this outside garbage and getting caught out there is not aligning to us, right? It's like we need to get clear and honest with ourselves of what am I expecting from out there? What is it that I'm waiting for the world to make my world better? And so I just feel like it's like in relationships and stuff, that's okay. It's like if you're expecting somebody to change, if I'm expecting you to be a better person. I'm expecting you to do this. How many people lecture somebody about what you want them to do for you? You need to be a better mother. You need to do this, and you hurt me, and you harm me, and you do this, and you do that, and you're always hurting me, blah, blah, blah. We put that out on somebody else. So you can put such high expectations on somebody else to change, to make you feel better, to fit into your life better. You need to quit drinking. You need to do this. You need to do that, blah, 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 right? We do that. So you place all those really high expectations out there. You want those people out there to be better. You want them to do better. It's like you would be so much happier if you just did this. So we put all those expectations out there so that people will be better to make you more comfortable for what? For what? What will they make you more comfortable for? Will anything in your world change if you didn't change nothing in you, but they became able to fit into the world that you've made your comfort? That's the other message. That's the other message that they wanted me to give you around that boundaries, right? Edie, that's you, right? I know. As so many people do. We all do it. We're human. We don't, until we know better. Did that with my kids, then realized if I expected them to be better, I need to be better. Yeah. Yeah. Those expectations, we place it there. If you know what, you need to do that. You need to be doing this. If you did this, it's amazing how good we are at counseling other people and handing out. And that's how a lot of my work was based around, was that I got really freaking tired of looking at a world full that when the world when everything started to go sideways in the world, when I would see healers attacking people and getting people into fights on their own pages, on their over stuff, and becoming a part of that outside world, I looked at it and said, my God, if we have such high expectations on all these people to be better people, to do better things, and to kind of turn against each other, if we do that out there, what am I expecting the world to do for me? So the wounded, the unhealed healer, and we all have the unhealed healer. We want the world to heal. We want the world to be a better place. We want people to be better. But what are we doing for ourselves? Because if we are reacting, being offended, being judgmental, being critical, being criticizing ourselves, criticizing others, all of that we are doing, judging, assuming that we know people that we don't know. Oh, that person is such an asshole, and they're like mean, and they're cruel, but have you ever sat with that person? Do you personally know that? Did you ever meet that person? Because if you never met that person, but you've got an image based on somebody else's reality and somebody else's story of them, you don't know them at all. But see how quick we are to want that to all change, or to want to lay all of our shit out on somebody else, to be able to judge somebody else. But what made you any different than that person in that moment? In that moment of being so judgmental and calling somebody else such an asshole and in that moment, what makes you any better of a person? We can include people in our prayers. Say, I truly hope someday they see the light in them. I truly hope some days that something awakens in them that makes them want to, do things differently for themselves. But for today, I have to be this for me. Everything that I want to see change in the world, I have to be that for me. And if I be it for me and take all my focus off trying to force somebody else to do better, to be better, and to wanting them to nurture my insecurities, if the whole world stops wanting to nurture insecurities, so now we're trying to create the image like this whole, we're going into this new world, this new life, and it's going to look like this, and we're all going to be magical little butterflies, and we're all going to float around. Well, that's not fucking possible, because faded reality still happens. And we still have light, and we still have dark. And we're still going to have loss, and we're still going to have grief, and we're still going to hurt, and we're still going to have all experiences. But if we awaken to just being a better human, to be the best human that we can get through this in a much more beautiful way. I'm not going to create a false reality of what is to come in the future as if we'll never see struggles again, because that's a non-existent. That is a non-existence. There's a truth in the reality of living in the real truth of finding light and peace, that no matter what I've looked at, I've been standing on the other end. So if my day comes and I have to leave this earth, on the other side, I will still be standing, but I'll be standing in that light. And if the day that I have to stand on the light on the other side and look in, everybody around will know I'm around, because I will shine my light down on this world as much as I possibly can. For today, I choose to choose me. For today, I choose to do those things for me, and to give out the guidance, to give out the loving messages, but not dare place an expectation upon somebody else to be something they're not ready to be, or that I know what their life should look like. I don't know what anyone's life should look like. And that's why I always say, I'm not your guru. I am a guide. I am a human being, just like all of you. You're all human. You're going to have human moments. You're going to have human experiences. So in my work and what I do is, I don't tell you how to live your life. I give you all the tools so that you can choose how you're going to live your life. But also so that you stop telling other people in the world how to live their lives. This is what you need to do. Right? right? Enough, exactly, TNT storm. Exactly. More time outside, sunshine. That's the light. That's the light. Do you know how healing that light is? Animals. Definitely animals. I got a house full of animals. And so creating those boundaries is that I am clear and honest with others about my expectations. And so, but also how you treat others, you can expect that back in the same way. It's like, so boundaries come in when we know us well enough to know what kind of life we're supposed to live. We're not judging somebody else, but you can help say, I'm not allowing that in this home. I'm not having that in my space because I've worked too hard to remove it from my own life. So why would I allow my house to be filled with negativity? Why would I allow my space to be fit? If I've worked hard to clean my life, to clean my words, to clean my thought, to live cleaner, why would I allow that? And that's your right. And that is your right. So what's happening out there, you don't have to allow inside of your home. You can still keep your words, your thoughts, your home clear, even though the world out there may not be choosing to live the way that you're living, but it's your choice. And to be able to have those boundaries, to know when you can say no, that you don't have to say yes to everything. Just because you're living in your light and you're living to be this good person, don't mean that you have to open your door and just say, bring all your garbage in. You don't have to let the Lucifer energy. You don't have to let the Jezebel energy. And that freaking imposter light that's appearing to be this beautiful light that says, oh, like, just to, just come live this way. And if you just be this way, what are they doing? And how are they living? Right? And so you get to choose. This is your life. And the beautiful thing about lighting you up is that your free will. You will be able to know that you can trust yourself because your intuition, your instincts, everything starts to light up. And you can trust your own self and you're not second guessing you. You know you're wise. And when you know you're wise, you fight hard for you. And fighting hard to stay in the light of you means that I might not have an expectation upon somebody else, but I damn well don't have to ignore red flags. And I do not have to keep allowing what is not in alignment to me. Right. If you can find light and peace and try harder to be better, then I can find the harder days are a bit easier. Yes, exactly. The harder days are easier. There's no doubt when we don't have as much clutter. And so I was in helping some of my moms, and or some of the women in my groups that have gone through losses, that I don't say we're going to remove the grief. I'm going to get you better and you're not going to feel grief. What we talk about in the work, in any of my work, is the fact that if we remove all of the other clutters, if we remove all of the other past stories, if we remove all the other stuff, then it actually leaves room. So when you can clear out all the other clutter and all the other things that you think you should be doing, and how hard you are upon yourself, if you can remove all of that, you actually then have room. You have room to be able to walk through your grief. You have room to be able to deal with, to be able to not even sometimes deal, to be able to sit in that grief, to be able to be present with your grief, to be able to be there, to not feel guilty that you're grieving, to not feel like you got to keep apologizing to people that you're grieving, or that you got to keep explaining yourself or justifying yourself. It's like, no, when you remove all the rest, all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, all the whys, all the worried about what other people think, or listening to all these opinions that are out there. When you let go of all of that, when you move past all those past experiences, all the other stuff that happened, that you've seen yourself standing at the other end, then you can sit with this, and it leaves room. And when you have room, when you have that room, it's like cleaning your room and redecorating, retidying it up, and you sit in it, and there's peace. That you can sit peacefully with you, and you can say to yourself, I am allowing myself to sit with this because I am worthy of this healing journey. I am worthy to sit with my hurt. I'm worthy to sit with my pain. I am hurting. And today I need to sit with that. Today I need to fill my life full of that beautiful, loving energy that will help me through this. I can sit in my prayers. I can sit with my loved ones. But when we're so cluttered, we can't hear them. We can't feel them. We can't sense them because we're so full. But when you clear your space, you can sit in that peaceful sense that I will take this journey through my grief. And that's the clearing energy. That's more than just existing. That's existing. So you're existing in your experience. You're existing in your moment. So more than existing, as Lisa Starr Francis said yesterday in a podcast we just did, it was more than existing are clean words. They're clean words. They're powerful words that come built from my thoughts from the purest of purest intentions. Intentions of love. Yes, that's what the whole book is about, Raina, is that everyone has their own realities. That's more than existing, is that life is illusions, and our life is based on the realities that we create, or somebody else's realities that we live in. And so in the journeys of realities is that you're living in somebody else's story. So what you're conditioned to, what you're told to believe, what you're led to believe, what you think your eyes see, all of those things, or what you think you still remember from childhood that you're remembering from a 3-year-old, it's all the realities that we create. So we build lives based on the stories that we tell ourselves. That's more than existing. And so when we cannot have a story, the whole soul thing is to be able to, who would I be without a story? So when I write book number 2 is, who would I be without my stories? If I didn't have a story, who would I be? Who would I be without my story? And so when I start to write more than existing, I tell you how I started this. If you haven't read the book, or if you have, I know some people have read it 2 or 3 times, because if you're reading the book and you're wondering why the writing is sometimes how it is, it's because I'm a healer. And so I channel old world language and knowledge and wisdom. And so they write in a way, the channel writes in a way, it's not me writing so much, it's my hand. The channel writes in a way to trigger you, to get you to feel something, to get you to have some sort of, this is frustrating me in the moment, or just, I don't want to read on, or I don't want to do this, but I need to keep going, because that's how our energy works with us, is that we get to that point. It's like if we're getting irritated by something, or someone's voice, or the wording that people are speaking, then what is that? It's not in them, it's something in myself. And so when I started to write this, I wrote the introduction last. No, sorry, I wrote the introduction as probably one of the last pieces that I ever wrote. And it actually was the beginning of the book. And I realized, when I look at anything, because I'm a little bit dyslexic, I'm ADD, and so when I look at a book, I open a book from the back. So I write the book I write everything kind of backwards. So more than existing has been written as if I've already made it to achieving a level of spiritual growth that has given me a rite of passage to a new life, or better yet, to the life I designed before I arrived. I will speak of myself as if the past I have lived bears no weight into the future I am living, and that my days are not filled with self-doubt and fear, but inspiration and unconditional love for the woman I have become. It started with a desire in my heart for a return to something I had yet to feel or experience within this lifetime until now. I am done, were the words that fell over my lips and onto the paper, as if a staff had hit the ground. The earth shook, and I was waiting for the waters to part. And so when I wrote that, from that place, is that I had a little statement that I had wrote down. And I wrote down, I'm done. I am choosing a life that's more than existing, no matter the cost. I wrote that statement. 12 years later, I wrote the book. 12 years later, I wrote the book. And I had this desire to return to something that I was yet to experience. And I write and I say, the dictionary lies to us, because joy and happiness. And I thought I had experienced happiness, and I did. I had glimpses of happiness. But joy would take me to the depths of my darkness in order to understand that for me to live a life of joy and happiness would mean that I would have to surrender it all. And that's where the truth comes in. And so the staff, what I write of is Moses channeled through me. And so all of the phases of the Bible I realized are the hero's journey. They're just like in the tarot cards. They're that whole turn of taking the journey through life. And the Moses story was that commandments is writing that code of ethics that you choose to live by. And do you let yourself be caught by the Jezebel energy of things that are sparkly and shiny over here that can distract you from continually returning to your own light? Parting the waters. By parting the waters and finding that parting of the waters is making a choice to move beyond, is making a choice to lay your feet down and say, I'm done. And I'm gonna do the things that I need to do. And it might seem impossible right now until the day that I start to walk. And the day that I start to walk, the path opens, the light gets shown to me, and all the synchronicity moments happen. And before I know it, I'm over there. And the rest gets washed away. The things that are not serving us wash away. And so I had to mix a little bit of everything that I've learned over the years to take this journey into really looking at life from a creative way in order to be able to get through some of the moments. Right? Pay attention. Pay attention to your present. Be present. Yes, Raina, you are so getting it. You're so wonderful. I love you guys so much. Cynthia, I try to practice stay more focused each day, to pay attention to those things that I normally just ignore. Yes, notice I see everything. I see everything around me. Then I'm not missing the synchronicity moments. I'm seeing the dime. I'm seeing the feather. Those things are put in front of you to make you stop in your tracks. Because once you stop in your tracks, you take a breath. And when you take a breath, something changes. So the last card that I have for you guys, because we're coming down to the hour, or the last two cards, is the seeds that we plant. So we plant new seeds. Today is an opportunity to plant a new seed of blessing that starts with you in order for our lives to transform and to be able to move into being the brightest star in the world inside of you, to be the brightest star for you in your world, to be the woman that you need to be, or the man that you need to be, or the child you need to be, whoever you need to be, is that today we plant a new seed. I'm a blessing. The power of the I ams. I am a blessing. And by saying I am worthy, that is not I am selfish. That is not selfish. I had a real issue with I's. And I used to think if I used I was being selfish, so I would use we. And I would give everything away because I figured if I had anything, I would be selfish, or I would look like someone who was, that would be unfair. So it was actually some friends of mine who over the past few years have kept saying to me, you have nothing. You give everything away. You're someone who should have everything, and you have nothing. Like you literally have nothing but yourself, because you keep giving everything away. And and people assume you have everything. And I said, well, I do have everything inside of here, but that's not taking care of my human needs. I still have to care for my human needs that keep taking me to places of worry and stress if I keep giving everything away. And so finding those things that we give away of ourselves and bringing it all back home and believing that the world is also here to work for you. So planting your new seed today that the world is also here to work for you, and that you are just as important of a part of the big plan, and that you are equally as worthy of this world and this life and all the good stuff as anyone else, is that I'm sending you a blessing that you can learn to allow yourself to be open to receiving and accepting the many blessings that are there. And the other card that comes in is the awakening, which is like the hangman card, is that whole when you start to, you shift your reality, you shift your eyes, you move, you look at things in a new perspective. And so that whole, sometimes we're paused. So the world has paused us, and we've been paused. And we've been paused for a while, and we've been a long pause. Those pauses in life are for reflection, so that we can truly reflect at life. We can look at it, take a look at our lives. Is this my direction? Is this where I want to be going? And so when we start to awaken, I always say awakening is not what people tell you. It's not one of those freaking fairy tales that it's magical and the whole world goes, oh, no. They usually come after a hard time. It usually comes when we have to say, I'm done. It usually comes at a time when you're like at your lowest, you're not looking your finest, and it's like, boom, that just happened. But it's like awakening is not this big shining moment. It is like you're sliding into base, like here. It's like you come in skidding, sliding, your hair's all messed up, you're all scraped and bruised, and it's like exhausted, wore out, and you just say, somebody help me. Because it's the day that we reach out and we ask for help. The day that we reach out and ask for help is the day that our lives and our world change. And that was exactly what I had to do. And that's exactly what we all need to do. Wherever our struggles are today, wherever our hurts are today, wherever our pain is, reach out, ask our loved ones, ask our guide, ask our angels, ask a friend. I need help today. Today, I can't do this alone. And so today, that is my blessing to you. And I'm hoping to soon, if me and these cards could fully, I'm hoping to soon to be able to have these beautiful cards out. They're all labeled. So these are my creation, but not my artistic work. So I'm not that artistic. This is a dear friend who created these oracle cards for me that are all in the works. She painted them. I channeled the design in a certain way, and then she created it in her image, and we've come together with these cards. So this card that I'm choosing for you today is rooted. And she's rooted in love. She's rooted in her ancestral stories. And she's so rooted, and she is the beautiful goddess energy. I think she's going to be called like Althea, I think, something like that. Athena, I think, was her name. And so this is rooted in love and rooted in our ancestral stories and rooted and grounded in who we are. That no matter who your ancestors are, no matter where you've come from, no matter your past experiences, no matter what you have been through, witnessed, that when you truly start to say, I'm going to truly find me, come home to me, is that you become rooted and grounded in the light, that you are a light, that you are a spiritual being here having a human experience. And this is your human experience. And that through all of that, through all of who you are, you can plant your own seeds and grow from there into who you truly want to be. Stepping from the darkness and into the light truly changes our lives. So this is only a picture right now because it's painted. And that's the energy of where we are. And then the other card that I was thinking of for today for you was to allow your life to go with the flow. And if you look at the beautiful turtle, and the turtle holds all 12 of the zodiacs, it holds all 12 months, it holds the whole cycle of life. And so the whole circle of life. And so on the circle of life, we have to break the cycle. We have to hit the breaking point, and we have to break free of the cycles so that we can continue on our circle of life. Our circle of life, so that we can be this. And yes, Raina, you're right, because the shaman in me, the Mi'kmaq First Nations woman that I am, that yes, I know someone's going to say she don't look like that, but she is truly based on the fact that I channel my ancestors. I channel my great-grandfather, my great-grandmother, and I channel a Beothic woman called Mary Ellen. And this is the card that represents them. I am a speck of sand. I am nothing, but I am everything. And this is the wisdom of the elders. And this is my ancestors. And this is my life. But I also have a very white family who are very much as powerful in their light and in their energy the same way. So I'm rooted and grounded in love, diversity, but I'm also rooted and grounded in being Corey. And I am not my ancestors, I am me. And because I am me, I get the opportunity to be me. And so you get the opportunity to create you. And we are here to create our own lives, to create the life that we live. It's yours to create. And that's one of your blessings, is that you're still here today to start to create your life. So much love. And thank you so much for being here with me today, for sitting with me for this whole hour and listen to me just channel through, because I'm channeling through these messages as I'm writing the 6th book, and I'm teaching this in some of this stuff in my level 4s. But I also have a huge meditation Monday morning, 8:55 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So for some of you, it's much later, Mountain Standard Time, and it is around the beautiful conjunction of the Jupiter and Saturn and the Christmas star, Bethlehem star, the birth star, the arrival star, like I call it. But it's a shift, a change in energy, and we have a lot of time warp. Like it's like the past is like falling away from us, and that's what I feel like. I feel like everything is just falling away, and I'm stepping into this new energy and into this new light. So embrace what you feel, embrace the moment, embrace any emotions, that any feeling that you have, and just tie it to where it belongs. Timestamp it, timestamp that emotional story, and say, hey, that's of that time, but this is me today. I'm not that. So now I have an opportunity to go to the end of the story, go to the end of the movie reel, and look at the end and see yourself standing. And when you see yourself standing, look at how much strength and courage and what it took to still be standing on the other side, and let that version of you be the inspiration. Be your own inspiration today. Inspire yourself to be more than you were yesterday, and inspire yourself to believe that you have the possibility to be all of your beautiful light, and just let the life unflow, end the cycles, and go with the flow of life. I love you all so very much. Thank you for being with me, and I will be back. I'll be back again before Christmas, but I have some amazing podcasts that'll be coming out in the next day or so. So I hope to get those out to you, and I have some forecast readings that I have to get out, so I have to put some focus into those today. And hopefully I'll get all the Zodiac monthlies out as well soon. It's been so busy. Much love to you all. Thank you for being with me, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.